Hi.
We're back.
Pew, 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 pew. Pew, pew. Pink like Suki in my brand new Suzuki windows tinted.
Y'all, we already had like a 45-minute conversation before we started recording. So we're already high on fumes.
Hey guys, welcome back.
Hey.
The episode today is not going to be this perky. Actually, it's going to get real busted.
Y'all.
So,
And I want to give a preface before we start because the people have read the title probably and they know what we're about to discuss.
yeah.
And it
Yeah.
may seem weird and it may seem like confusing, but I just want to say that history is the pop culture of the past. Okay?
Yes.
So
Yes.
it fits. It makes sense. We also love history because the people who we're talking about aren't here to like talk shit about us. So
Exactly.
we're gonna say whatever we want, okay, about these people from history, and get ready because we have a long list of historical topics to discuss, including today's
list. A long list.
Yeah, today's episode's about to get dark, both in name and in subject matter.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Strap in, you
So,
guys.
Strap in
gonna
and
get
strap
gross.
on. Hold on to your
That's what
lug
she
nuts. All right.
Everybody, put your N95 masks on and let's get going.
I throw my hands up. Damn them. I don't even know the words. Damn. I don't even know the words
The
anymore.
butterflies
Fuck.
fly away.
Moving my hips like. It's the vomiting sound.
Moving my hips like.
Throwing my head back like. Because the Black Plague.
Girl, yeah, we're talking about the Black Plague today, and
We're talking about the Black Plague.
Girl, it's nasty. It's so nasty.
I can't wait to make the thumbnail for this because I'm gonna do it exactly the way you think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put pictures of the Black Plague in the back and then put in like cute little font the Black Plague with like fairies at the end.
Like my fuck ass would do with my notes in elementary school. The way I'd put I draw little hearts and stars, the Holocaust heart. Like a fucking
No, literally
psycho.
the Black Plague, little squirrels eating, yeah. I can't wait to make the thumbnail.
With cute little cursive.
No, literally, y'all are gonna be sick of me because I'm gonna be so what you think I'm gonna be.
Oh
okay?
my god.
Yeah,
That is
for
so
sure,
funny.
for sure.
But that's kind of what we're doing with our historical subjects is we're kind of taking them and yassifying them for filth. Like we're going to take these subject matters and make it girly pop because I know that y'all learned about the Black Plague in school, but I think everybody forgot how crazy
completely.
the Black Plague is.
So we did our research, and we went to the interwebs, we went to the tubes.
Yes.
And I'm going to say this here now for the record for future Reva. Please cite your sources. We will be citing sources at the bottom of the video, so that you can see where we went and what we looked for and how we got to this point. So, and I'm going to warn you, it's mostly history.com. There you go.
A reliable source.
Reliable source. Reliable source.
I think.
But yeah, this was probably the most disgusting thing I've ever read. So
It was one of the more disgusting. You know what's crazy is the thing that disgusted me wasn't so much the Black Plague itself, but how people thought they could get rid of it.
oh yeah.
The shit, literally, that people would do to themselves when they had the Black Plague is so gross. And just the thought of living in society back then, the way that none of us would last a second, our immune systems would go kaput. We would all die instantly.
Yeah.
And what's crazy, I know, we'll get there. I know these people back then didn't understand the importance of hygiene, okay? But it is crazy to me that any of them wondered why the Black Plague occurred with the way they were living. We'll get there.
No, literally.
Y'all.
And I'm
Oh,
mad that they didn't think soap and water would be even like first on their list in terms of things that could help.
I mean,
You know,
well, yeah, I agree. I agree.
if we really think about it,
But we'll get there. I wrote down so
we'll
much
get there.
about, we'll get there. I just wrote down so much about why people weren't bathing and what they did instead of bathing, which is a lot of crazy shit. Okay?
Yeah.
These people did
So
so much
you went
crazy shit.
so you went in depth on, I guess, like what they did in order to prevent or get rid of it. And I just went in depth
I
on like the
have
general
I,
timeline and like what happened to society when this happened,
I
I
do
guess.
too. I have notes
Okay.
on lots of things. Girl, I have so many notes. I have notes on, first of all, what it is, how it's
Right?
transmitted,
Mm-hmm.
um, economical cultural impact, and then just
Mm-hmm.
other random facts
Yeah.
about the Black Plague that didn't fit into these categories. Um,
Right.
I did kind of like a very, very broad overview.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
in researching this, I learned so much about the culture of these people.
Well, and the way that the world history is so interesting to me because everybody's got their own version of what happened with any event that ever
Right.
happens in history. Because when I
Yes.
research how exactly did it start, there's 20 different stories that all span
Well,
from
it's so
we let
hard
rats on a
to
ship.
it's so hard for us to figure it out too because it was so long ago. There's like
Mm-hmm.
no real record of it. Like we kind of have to guess, sort
Mm-hmm.
of, or like presume. Um, but also the Black Plague was like mixing with so many other diseases that it's like
Mm-hmm.
people were dying from like the Black Plague plus pneumonia or the Black Plague
Mm-hmm.
plus typhoid.
Mm-hmm.
Like people were dying from lots of shit. The Black Plague was
Mm-hmm.
just one of them. And the Black Plague
Yeah.
took a lot of bitches out. Like
Oh, like
even
a third of the whole region out, a third of a continent.
even even when you look up like how many people died, the number ranges
Yeah.
from, you know, 10 million to 100 million. Like
Mm-hmm.
nobody really knows the
Well,
number,
yeah.
but it's a lot. The point is it
Well,
was a lot.
not only was it a lot, but we always tend to think of, okay, I mean, what's your first thought when you think of the Black Death? We think of European, the Black Plague, everything that happened in like England, old France, in that region. No, the Black Plague like decimated everybody. Okay?
Yeah.
Africa was affected, Middle East was affected, Asia
Yeah.
was affected, like
Asia.
everybody was
Yeah.
dead, you know? Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and it didn't happen just once and we just kind of like,
It never really went away.
no.
There are cases of the Black Plague kind of recently.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is why it never really went away. She just kind of went
Mm-mm.
dormant and then would come back, and then dormant and then went back. It's those damn fleas, girl. Those damn fleas.
Those fucking fleas are everywhere, girl. Hide your kids. Hide your wives.
Hide your kids, hide your
'Cause-
wife. I mean, the thing that really grossed me out, I was like reading this article. I forget where it was. Now,
Mhm.
Riva's really good. She's going to cite her sources. I'm not. You're just going to have to believe me. I read somewhere that the fleas, like the Black Plague infested fleas, would
Mhm.
attach themselves to rats, and then the rats would get
Mhm.
infected. But the rats would
Mhm.
eventually die. And this is what grossed me out. The fleas had to find a new host. I hate that sentence. A new
Now,
host,
now
and
here's
the
the thing
host would be
too.
people.
No, literally. And here's the thing that really, really gets me because so for our what did we learn segment, I really don't have one because this is what I learned, the Black Death. Okay.
That's what
Uh,
that's literally what I said. I said, "What did I learn? How fucked up the Black Plague was."
everything, world history. Um, but I've been okay, so like I'm in the middle of watching The Last of Us season 2 right now on HBO Max, so I'm already fucked up with like fear
Disease.
of pandemic like diseases. And this is just like the cherry on top of the cherry, you know? Um,
Yeah.
the fact that number one, it never really ended and that there's still cases of it today, and number two, actually the Black Plague, the real starts of the Black Plague was honestly to climate change, if we're gonna be
I
100%. So what
mean,
happened?
speak on it.
Yeah. So like what happened
Speak
in
on it.
Asia? Yeah. So what happened in Asia? Um, rodents began, or like mice and rats began to flee like the grasslands or wide open spaces, and they used to travel and migrate to more populated areas, like the cities or like really highly populated dense areas. And then because you've got all these rodents coming from rural to, city like areas, disease is going to happen. So
Yeah.
the fact that it literally all started because of climate change is there's
Yeah.
your hey, pay attention right there,
Yeah. I mean, like,
Yeah.
these infected rats would come over on like trade ships,
Mhm.
and that I read this crazy shit, um that part of the way that it was transmitted and it was spread was
Mhm.
from war, and that the
Mhm.
Mongol like army would catapult infested corpses over walls
Mhm.
to infect the
Yes.
bodies of the people in other cities. That is absolutely diabolical.
I literally
Diabolical.
noted that down too, because that was also another beginning. And then so when he was doing that, so let me see, because I have it written down.
I know I'm kind of jumping all
Yeah,
over the
so
place, but
yeah, so he would hurl these plague-ridden corpses all throughout the Mediterranean. And then um even before any of this happened, people and Europeans heard about this thing called the Great Pestilence. That
I
was
love that
like
term. I
the
I wrote down that they didn't actually call it the Black Plague back then. They call it the Great Pestilence, and that is so
yes,
fierce.
it's so kind.
I don't know
Or
why I
it's so
love it, but I do.
CUNT. It's so
It'd be such a
CUNT.
good drag name.
No,
Someone needs
you're on to
to make the Great Pestilence their drag name.
Hi, please welcome to
It'll
the
be
stage,
me.
the Great Pestilence.
The Great Pestilence.
The Great Pestilence, yeah. Um yeah, and so this was happening in the 1340s, and then that particular event that you're talking about with that Mongol king happened in around like 1347. So all of these little things are happening at the same time, and there's not one like concrete, this is what happened first and this is what happened next. No, there's like 14,000 things that happened to,
Yeah,
I guess, start this whole
yeah,
crazy
and
fucking
and that's
time.
why it's so hard to pinpoint it, is because it happened. It wasn't just like one flea in China. It was like
No.
all of these things happening at the same time to make it spread
Mm-hmm.
so quickly. But it
Mm-hmm.
also spread so quickly because these people were living in the most horrid conditions. I'm particularly in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
They so like the importance of hygiene was not fully realized by humans until like the 18th century. So
Right.
these people didn't understand why bathing was important or why they should bathe at all.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, these
Mm-hmm.
early Christians thought that bathing was a temptation.
Right.
How insane is that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're taking your clothes off and you're getting wet. Ew. So
Mm-hmm.
they
Strike the
didn't
god.
bathe.
I said, what?
They
Just
didn't
because I'm
bathe.
using Dove?
There was no indoor plumbing, so literally all of their
None.
shit was on the street. And
Mm-hmm.
so there was human waste everywhere, animal waste everywhere, animal bodies everywhere, blood, and like all of this nasty stuff just like sitting in the street. And allegedly there were rules about like cleaning up like the streets, but like no one cared. Like they just left the streets like an absolute mess, and like it was like never enforced. Like these cleaning rules were never enforced. People just like didn't clean up, and
No.
it was disgusting and gross. Um, and I think there were like designated like shit streets in France. That's like, well, these are the streets where the shit is. So all of the bacteria was just like festering. It
Festering.
honestly, it's shocking that the whole population wasn't wiped out. It was just about
Girl.
50-60% of Europe. I'm surprised it wasn't all of
Girl.
them. The
No,
the way
literally.
that they were going about it.
Girl.
Holy shit.
Holy fuck. That's
Like,
nasty.
and I think we looked this up before. I don't know when they invented soap, but surely. Actually, I think we did, and it was made from like animal fat. So like
Right.
that's not, girl, what is that? You're wiping beef tallow all over yourself?
Pork
Girl,
rind. Not pork rinds.
that is disgusting. Like, I'm
It's
clean.
so gross. I'm clean.
Um,
Just
so
like dripping pork rind off you. Yeah.
girl. So
Come
it's no
on.
wonder this shit spread so quickly and was so
Yeah.
awful. Like,
Yeah.
and the Black Plague would literally eat bitches up. Like, I looked up
And
how it actually infected the body, and it would
hmm
just completely disarm the immune system. Girl, immune system,
oh,
don't know her.
shatter. Yeah.
Infecting like the macrophages and like the white blood cell. Girl, you were done.
You were done.
You were done.
You were done. And there was actually two types of plague going on at the time because scientists and historians they really can't delineate or decide which one was happening. They think the bubonic plague was happening anymore, but there was two types. So
Yes.
there was the bubonic plague and then the pneumonic plague. And
Yeah.
so the bubonic plague though is the one that is more popular because it's the one that you can notice a lot better because that's the one that has, the buboes or the those
Yes.
huge and large boils that are happening,
Yeah.
under the armpit area, on the neck, and then in the groinal area when someone
Yeah. It
has
turns your skin
the
black and
plague.
shit. Yeah.
And you look crazy. And it's also the type of plague, and it's also the type of plague with the blackened fingers.
Yes.
That shit,
Hence
that's
the name.
crazy.
Yeah. The
Black
way,
plague,
like, I mean, just your skin dying. Like, you're literally watching
dying.
yourself rot.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Mm-mm.
Ugh.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Horrible. It
Horrible.
almost reminded me of, I don't know if you remember, like in the height of COVID when people were talking about COVID toes. Like, do you remember COVID
Yes.
toes? Like,
Yes.
when I
Yes.
learned about that, I was like, this is the Black Plague. This is the
No,
Black.
literally, literally. I think the thing that got me about COVID that like really effed me up was just like the longevity of how long the longevity of the symptoms even after you've,
Long
recovered from
COVID.
like
Yeah.
remember those TikToks of people having long COVID and they couldn't smell or taste for
Yes.
years. Like I saw one that was like not like 11 months past the date that
Yeah.
she had COVID and she got, healed from COVID, she still wasn't able to taste anything or everything that she would taste. It's literally tasted like raw. It was like,
Yeah.
oh no,
Yeah.
oh no, no, no,
I
no, no.
had well, I think long COVID is like now like a whole separate diagnosis from COVID in
Mm-hmm.
general.
Mm-hmm.
Like causing like brain fog and headaches and like all of these really, really, really long term, maybe even permanent, like we don't know,
Mm-hmm.
side effects. When I had COVID that first time, everything did taste like shit. I was like,
Yeah.
or either tasted like shit or it tasted like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, but thank God mine didn't go that long. But it was almost like a
Right.
sinus infection where it's like you
Mm-hmm.
just got so much like stuff in your
Mm-hmm.
head that you can't taste anything. But I saw that
Right.
TikTok of that girl who didn't taste anything for like a year, and I'm like, oh, horrible, horrible.
I can't. I can't. So
Um,
yeah, so
yeah,
yeah. We both said so yeah.
yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
anyway,
So so yeah, like I said, or yeah, like we said, there's two different types, bubonic plague, pneumonic plague. They're very, very similar. It's just one, I guess, is a little bit worse because the bubonic plague, you're gonna get fever, vomiting, those like buboes swelling under, those really crazy boils under your armpits, groinal area, or neck, the black fingertips, and then you're gonna get diarrhea. And it says that the boober, or from my notes, I said that the bubonic plague was spread by rats, which were commonly found in homes, villages, and towns due to poor hygiene conditions, such as raw chewing being routinely dumped in the streets. And specifically, if a flea had bitten an infected rat and then jumped onto a person and bit them, it would transmit the bubonic plague. And the mortality
Yeah.
rate of the bubonic plague at the time, and no, at the time was 50%, but today I think it's at 11%. So, yeah.
I mean, yeah, back then if you got the Black Plague, it was basically a death sentence. You had
Yeah,
2 weeks max.
Max.
Girl, good luck.
Well, from one video I watched, you know that, and they're still doing it. You know that like educational video series that John and Hank Green do. I forgot what it's
Yes,
called.
love.
I watched them. I watched them to get my notes. I watched them, and um, what was I gonna say? Um, oh, so in that video, he John Green talks about how some people had it for, hours, maybe days. Some people had it for weeks, and some people had it longer. From they would like prolong, a month or two,
Yeah.
which is insane. Like if we think about it, up until that point, obviously there was never any like really serious diseases ever experienced or heard of up until that point. But can you imagine a disease that doesn't really have a set time? Like, yes, most people die within days or hours, but you could have this for at least a month, month and a half. Like, there's
Yeah.
no guarantees on when you can have it. Like, and I guess that's the way that COVID kind of situated itself too. But like,
I
I
mean,
don't
like
know.
anything. Any type of
Right.
cancer, any type of disease, or like anything. Like some people can go in
Mm-hmm.
like a week. Some people live for months, years. You never know. That's the scary
Yeah.
part. Like,
I
you could die
think,
tomorrow, you could die next month, you could die next year.
right.
Like, you don't know.
I think the I think what's wild to me about it is like today, because of science and because of technology, we kind of have a better gauge of when we can predict things to happen. Like, let's say or let's say somebody has cancer and it has, late stage cancer. You go to the doctor and they'll give you a time frame of when they expect, the worst of the worst to happen. And then unfortunately that person dies. But to have the plague and live in a time where there is no technology, there is no way to even gauge the time frame of when someone might either have this thing or pass or have this thing and get over it. That's
Yeah.
so scary because you just don't know.
And
Like,
on top of that, too, it's like when with COVID, we understood what it was
mm-hmm,
and where it came from. We understood the
mm-hmm,
concept of like disease and illness and the science behind it and how things
mm-hmm,
spread. Back
mm-hmm,
then, these people did not know anything. They didn't know anything, but they didn't know a lot about the human body. They didn't know about bacteria. They didn't know
mm-hmm,
about the importance of hygiene and keeping the streets clean. And so
mm-hmm,
a lot of people thought that the Black Plague was a sign from God or a punishment from
mm-hmm,
God because like
mm-hmm.
so people were really like tapping into their spirituality and like
Yeah.
praying and like doing everything they could to like get on God's good side so they didn't get
Mm-hmm,
punished with the Black
mm-hmm.
Plague. I mean, that's how like little the understanding was. Like, well, this must be some sort
Right.
of like punishment from God. There's no other
Right.
explanation. Where
Right.
now, if someone said that, I think a lot of people would be like, girl, that's crazy.
Girl.
Like, I mean,
You have a
okay,
bug
like
bite. All
maybe,
right. Come on.
maybe, but like also, um,
Let's use rational thought. Thank you.
let's
Thank
let's
you.
let's think about that for 5 more seconds.
5 more seconds. One. Because
Yeah,
like,
and then I'd be like, oh, okay,
uh,
okay. But these people were so like genuinely
hmm
like they genuinely thought like the only explanation for this is some sort of otherworldly
hmm
intervention.
hmm
And so
hmm
that just goes to show you how confusing that whole thing must have been
Yeah.
for all those people. I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of hard to believe. I and like seeing all these bodies in the streets and just like it's so grotesque. Like, I mean, obviously it's very
Girl.
serious, but I don't know if you've
hmm
seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail. You've seen that movie.
I have. I've seen it once. But yes.
Towards the beginning, they're like
Yeah.
doing like it's like the middle of the Black Plague, and they're like chucking
Hmm.
bodies in the wheelbarrow.
So I was actually going to get to
That's
this,
probably
but I
very
did.
real.
No, literally, and I was going to get to this. But yeah, some like great examples of, I think, the Black Plague, or experience, or seeing a little bit like what the Black Plague would have been like. Number one, Monty Python, I think, is a very comical, like, great
Yeah.
altered state kind of version of it.
Bring
Um,
out your dead. Yeah. Bring out your dead.
no, literally. And then there's a show on Netflix that was inspired by a book called The Decameron. And it was written by
Oh, I've heard of that.
Giovanni. Yes, and I hope I don't butcher this name, but Giovanni Boccaccio, Boccaccio or Boccaccio.
You got it.
Um, hopefully. Hey,
That
buddy.
part.
Um, but he wrote it in the mid 14th century, and the Decameron is a collection of 100 short stories told by a group of young people, several women and three men, who fled to Florence to escape the horrors of the Black Plague. And they like retreat to the countryside, and they pass the time by like telling, stories about like love, you know, wit, sex, all these like crazy folk tales, I guess. Um, and the plague is like kind of the secret main character, because like I haven't read the stories, or I want to read the stories, but I watched the show, and the show is grotesque. Like, it's funny, it's so funny, but the way they depict the Black Plague is literally diabolical. Like, the show
Yeah.
opens,
I can
there's
only
about 50
imagine.
bodies. No, the show opens on
Ugh.
Netflix. There's like 50 bodies like lining the streets, and people are throwing shit on this like on the pavement, and people are throwing
Yeah.
bodies in rivers, and it's just it's one of the craziest shows I've ever seen in terms of like how gory it is for something that, I don't know, didn't feel as gory in the trailer. Like, it didn't.
Well, it's like it's gory because that's just like the reality. Like
Yeah.
so many people died because that they had to make like mass graves. Like it
Mhm.
was there was nowhere to bury these people. There were so
Mhm.
many.
Mhm.
So it's like I kind of love that concept of like the show is like kind of funny, but like with this horrible thing happening, and
Oh, it's so good.
it's not
So
like
good.
a horror movie where it's like gory for gory's sake. It's just like this is the gory
Mhm.
reality. Like this is just
Yeah.
like what it
No,
is.
completely. Like, I
Yeah.
think one of the actors who's on that show is the girl who plays Shoshana in Girls. So, just
That's so funny that you
yes.
mentioned that person because you guys, we're recording 2 episodes in one session, and the next episode we're recording is about Nepo babies. And she's about to come up. Okay, I have notes
All
about this
right.
bitch. I have notes about this bitch. So it's
Yeah, but
all gonna tie
she's
together for the people who listen. That's gonna be the little like
a little
if you know
meat
you
in the
know.
middle.
Yeah.
A little meat in the middle. Yeah, but she's in it, and she kills it. But it's like it's so funny and so raunchy, but at the same time so gory and so like, I can't believe all this stuff. Oh, and another actor who's in it is the woman from Dairy Girls, like the girl with the, not Nicola, but the other girl with blonde hair. I don't know her name
Yes,
very well.
I know who you're talking
Yes.
about. I don't know her name
Yeah.
either though.
I don't know her name either, but
I want
she's
to say
amazing
it's
too.
Saoirse. I want to say it's
I think it
Saoirse.
is. I think it's Saoirse. Yeah, I think it's Saoirse.
Yeah,
I
but
just don't know her
she's
last
so
name.
funny. Love her.
Yes, she also killed it. Like, an amazing show. It's just one. It's just, yeah. The Black Plague is just like this weird third character, um,
Yeah.
or weird eighth character, I guess, that just like encompasses the entire show, and like you just see. I've just never seen anything just so gory before, and so like in your face, like this is exactly as what happened. What happened.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
great example
Like,
if you want to watch anything with the Black Plague.
girl, it's so nasty. Like, there's not enough words to describe. Sometimes you really do have to see it to
Yeah,
understand how gross, like, and
yeah.
how horrible it really is. Because, I mean, now, like, with all of the first of all, with our understanding of hygiene and cleanliness, I mean, that's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But everything in
Mm-hmm.
a modern medical setting is extremely sterile and very clean and very hygienic. Even the way we bury people is
Yes.
very like clean
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
um meticulous in a lot
Mm-hmm.
of ways and like very careful.
Yeah.
Um a girl back then, they were literally chucking bodies in the street.
And water, and the water that they would drink.
Send help.
They would literally shit and chuck bodies in the water that they would drink.
I
I'm sorry,
this
perfect
is
example of don't shit where you lay. Like, that is crazy.
I just can't even like, as a society we've progressed so far
So far.
that the thought of living like that, which was like normal for these people,
Literally.
literally makes me want to like die. Like
Die.
if you had to take us and put us back then and we had to experience that, we'd wish we got the Black Plague. Girl, fingers crossed. I want to
No,
die.
literally.
Get me out of here.
I'm next.
'Cause what? But my luck, I would be the only one to survive the Black Plague. Okay, I get the Black Plague and I would live.
Oh. Oh, live. But you know what? You would live, but like definitely get like look fucked up because of it. Like the
Oh my
boils
God.
wouldn't heal properly, so you would just
Craters
like
in
look
my
crazy.
face.
Yeah.
Horrible. I look
Yeah.
so horrible. Wait, though, this is kind of cunty. I learned while doing this, it was honestly kind of nostalgic because the term quarantine was like coined and like during this
Mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Because, obviously, I just said we progressed far, but we really haven't because back then they were quarantining people
Mm-hmm.
who had the Black Plague. That was like, honestly, probably the best measure against it was getting these people the
Mm-hmm.
fuck away. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They would quarantine and they would social distance. I'm like, oh,
Yes.
they get it.
So no, literally they would social distance, and then they also changed their like building and construction styles, or like they would change the materials that they use for construction. So instead of like, I don't know, straw and like fucking hay
Mud and
or
shit.
mud and shit, mud shit just caked on their walls. Like, I think they like changed into like they changed into like a more, porous, like rock based material, like a brick, like concrete like material, and it also
Yeah.
helped. And I think they, instead of like a straw like roof or something, they changed it to like a wood based roof, or a roof that has like tile or something. So it kept even, more I guess like disease and insulated any
Yeah.
person within that dwelling, I guess. So
Yeah.
they, all in all, they changed their building style. So like when they changed their building materials, it like helped also to quarantine people and help people keep safe, I guess.
Yeah.
Which I'm trying to say.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah, like, of course your architecture ass would be like, this is how they change the buildings.
Look, that lifestyle chose me. I didn't choose it.
You're so right.
Okay.
It cursed you more like.
It cursed me. It rebounded. Okay. I didn't choose it. Okay.
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 Ooh, there ain't no other way. Girl.
Oh my God.
Girl.
I'm gonna say this. I have to say this. I was actually listening to their podcast. I'm not gonna say who it is, because if you don't know who it is, I can't tell you. You're gonna find out eventually.
Yeah.
You're gonna get there.
Honestly.
I was listening to their podcast, and they were talking about Meghan Markle, and that scene where Katya just goes, shaking
Fuck
your
ass.
boots.
Fuck ass bouquets and shit.
No, she was just like, what did she say? Oh my God, I don't know what she said, but she said something I guess a podcaster who was interviewing her said something in terms of like, oh, full body chills. I'm having full body chills. I'm having full body chills.
Full body
So when you
chills.
said that, I thought, yeah, full body chills.
Full body chills. That's
Full
so
body
funny.
chills? Full body chills.
Full body chills.
Um, full body chills?
Full body chills.
Full
It's
body
giving
chills.
it's giving The Fault in Our Stars. Okay. Okay.
Okay? Okay. Oh my God, we're watching Hank Green a lot today. Shout out.
Oh my God.
Or
Wait.
John Green.
John
Sorry,
Green.
the mother.
But
John
I also
Green.
love Hank Green too. Love you. Okay.
Illy.
Hank Green taught me why I shouldn't eat grass. I don't know if you've seen his TikTok, but someone asked, why aren't we eating grass? And he said, you shouldn't eat grass. And I said, why? And he answered me.
Eat.
He didn't answer me personally, but I was thinking the thought, and then someone else thought it and commented it, and then he answered.
Oh no! If you would have done that, where would we be?
Could you imagine? If I had a
Could you
direct interaction
imagine?
with Hank Green, I think I'd spontaneously combust.
I had a direct interaction with Teffy once, and that almost passed. I almost passed away from that. I don't know what I did with that photo. I don't know what I did with that photo, but
I think if we somehow like infiltrated her universe, we would be absolutely unstoppable.
oh,
Teffy would be a great guest on this podcast because, like us, she also likes to deep dive into something.
no,
And
literally.
so imagine like the three of us yapping about like literally name any celebrity. The three of us two and Teffy would yap for like hours.
Hours.
I mean, that would be like so
Yeah,
good.
I added her on a TikTok one time, and she responded, and I was like, oh my God, everybody shut the fuck
Period.
up. Yeah, it was
Teffy, where you at? We
crazy.
love you.
I love you, Teffy. Anyway,
And we're like,
yeah.
and you're more OG than me, but we've been
I
watching Teffy since her
know.
YouTube show.
I'm telling you, and she needs to bring that back. Like, where is that? I know you've got the funds. I know you've got the funds.
Even if it's not her YouTube show, I loved when she did her podcast. I think it was called This Is My Super Bowl. I think that was
Oh
the name of the
shit.
podcast.
Mm,
And she would bring on a guest every week. It was so good.
yeah,
So Teffy,
girl,
we miss
I
you.
know you got the funds. Give it to me.
Come back, Teffy. The kids miss you.
No, literally.
But I was literally before we got on that little tangent, I was gonna say we made it 35 minutes without going off topic. But I think that's our longest yet, though.
No, honestly,
We were locked in on the Black Plague, you guys.
we did, and then
Locked in.
we kind of timed out, and we were just like, oh my God, Trixie and Katya. So anyway,
Oh
like,
my God, wait.
anyway,
Okay, but I'm
anyway.
gonna steal the train. Okay, steal the train back.
Yeah.
You mentioned the architectural impact. I have a couple of other things written down about the impact of the Black Plague.
Mhm.
Obviously, the Black Plague literally wiped out over half of the European population. So,
Yeah.
impact number one is that there's no bitches around. Okay, girl, everybody died.
Everybody.
Girl,
Everybody.
impact number one, there's no bitches. Literally nobody around. So obviously there was a labor shortage. Girl, nobody working.
Nobody
People
working.
Imagine coming into work on Monday. Coming into work
You're
one
the
day and
only
all your
one.
coworkers died.
Dude, you're the only one at the company.
You're the only one
'Cause
out in
that's
the
a
field
real-
with your fucking pitchfork. Like, where is everybody? Is it a holiday?
I thought we were supposed to bring grad today. Foreman's dead. All your coworkers are dead. Everybody's dead.
Your feudal lord is dead. Everybody's dead.
Everybody's dead. Everybody's dead.
But with the labor shortage, because there were so few workers, anybody who's
Yeah.
alive that could work made some extra coin. Okay, so wages went up.
Girl.
Wages went up, and
Mhm.
wages went way up. And because there was so much more land, because again, all of the bitches died. All of these these people in the fields working in feudalism were like, fuck you.
Yeah.
We're not doing this shit anymore, and we're gonna get our own land and we're gonna do our own shit. So feudalism, done. She's dead.
Also,
Like-
girl, not even about the laborers or like farmers or feudalism. Girl, artisans, people who were like,
Yes.
making paintings. Girl, that the price doubled with that.
Oh,
Okay?
girl, inflation,
Because
boots.
Boots
Inflation,
House,
boots.
mama, up.
Yeah.
Okay? Mm, break glass ceiling went up.
Yes.
Okay? You want
Small
to pay for
businesses
me?
were thriving.
No, literally, you want to pay for me? It's gonna cost you about 12,000 right up front. Okay?
Yeah.
And no
Yeah.
installments. I'm gonna need a good $5,000 down payment. It was like buying a house. Okay?
Literally.
Yeah,
So
it was
while these
expensive.
people were empowered and were like, fuck
Mm-hmm.
feudalism, um,
Mm-hmm.
this also starts the rise of capitalism. Early, obviously,
Right.
little
Early,
tiny
early.
little baby capitalism.
Yeah.
But now that we're here in late stage capitalism, I want to die. So I'm blaming all of you bitches who didn't get the Black Plague and were like, we're out, because now we're here and I hate it.
I hate it. I hate it.
Not the Black Plague bringing on capitalism.
Yeah.
That face you're making is crazy.
It's because of my
don't
raccoon
like
eyes.
I
It's
don't
because of my raccoon
like
eyes.
it. It's the
I look
nose
insane.
scrunching that's freaking me out.
Yeah.
Oh my
You
God,
know what it
that's
is? It's like the one nose scrunch right up here and then
Yes,
nothing.
that's what I don't
nose
like.
scrunch. Yeah. All you bitches that didn't die and basically started capital. No. The asshole who created money, fuck you. Fuck you hard,
Literally.
okay? F you. I
It
need
was
a
probably
beeper,
some like
sorry.
ancient Roman shit. Did the
Oh, of
ancient Romans
course.
invent money? Yeah.
I don't know. We'll find out some in one episode.
We'll find them
out
and we'll
who.
kill them.
And when I find you, it's on site, bruh. Okay? It's on site.
Okay.
I'm coming
No,
for
literally.
you. Because what do you
Yes.
mean? Oh, make little nickel pellets and then give them to people and then have them commerce. Whoever invented the word commerce should be shot.
Bring back
Especially-
bartering.
Especially the guy who put an E and a dash in front of it. You?
Girl,
Girl.
I hate you. I
And
hate
whoever
you, and I hope your
invented
business
digital
burns.
media, whoever invented digital media marketing, your days are numbered.
Girl, I literally work in digital media marketing, and it's
Oh.
a hellscape.
It's
It's a fucking
we
hellscape.
don't get out. We don't get out. Girl.
Bring back
Sorry,
bartering. Bring back.
Bring
like,
it back.
I'll give you 2 of my sheep for your for your eggs or whatever.
I'll
Bring
give
it
you 4
back.
liters. Bring it back. I'll give you 4 Sharpies for a paperclip.
Girl,
Also 4 Sharpies
mean-
for a paperclip. Maybe we need to raise that up. But
horrible deal.
I know, right? I'm giving you 4 Sharpies.
I mean, unless you really need that paperclip.
I mean, you're begging for it. I mean, you're drooling for it.
Yeah.
Like,
If you're willing to trade 4 Sharpies for a paperclip, I don't know how
Hey.
you got there, but wow.
we need to check in.
Wow.
Wow.
Like, how much paper do you have?
Dang. And like 4 Sharpies for that one clip?
Where'd you get 4 Sharpies from?
Where'd you get them?
I think I have
Where'd you get
1
them
in
from?
my house.
I said,
Where'd you get
damn.
4?
Is it that bad? I didn't know you were doing like that. I said,
I mean, there was that girl on TikTok when TikTok was first getting going who traded a bobby pin. She traded her way from a bobby pin to a house.
Yes. Where is
We
she
need
now?
to bring that shit back.
Where is she?
now? I think she sold.
She's
I
been
think she
real
got
quiet.
the house and then she sold it.
Is she doing it all over again? That's insane.
I think she started again, but I haven't heard from her since. I saw her like achieve the goal of getting the house,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
then I didn't hear from her again. And we never
We-
saw her again.
We need to bring bartering back because
Yes, I
it's
agree.
getting rough out here. Yeah.
It's rough
Yeah,
out
for
here.
sure. It's rough. It's
so
rough.
I concur. And also it's interesting you brought up climate change at the beginning of this because the Black Plague, despite its shortcomings and absolute horrendous effect it had on humanity, actually like low-key cooled the environment because
Yes.
there were less people
Yeah.
and there was more open space and
Mm-hmm.
the opportunity for reforestation.
Mm-hmm.
So trees could start growing, we're clearing the air, we're like,
Yeah.
things are getting cooler because a lot of
Girl,
people died.
and strangely enough, look what happened when COVID happened, like the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when we were in the midst of the lockdown, there was this one report that came out that, um, like in India, there's this, I forgot which mountain they were talking about, but like one morning, I guess like citizens walked outside and they could finally see this mountain after 30 plus years of not being able to see the tip of the mountain because of pollution, but because everybody was indoors, quarantining, not in the streets. Girl, they could, like, you know, air was being clearer, dust was being lifted, and they could finally see the top of this mountain for the first time in
Yeah.
like 30
I
years.
mean, people weren't driving, people weren't flying, people weren't
Nothing.
like shipping things. Like everything came to a complete stop for weeks.
And for weeks, for weeks.
Look what it did. Like,
Girl,
that's crazy.
and me and my mom talk about it all the time. I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it, but I'm gonna say something. It felt so good to just stop and take a
I
break
know.
and just stop. Like, and I didn't realize it's like, you don't realize, I guess what you have until it's gone kind of thing. And I
Yeah.
hate to say that because for other people's experience of COVID, obviously was like the depths of despair or just like a really terrible time.
Yes.
But I know for me and a lot of like my other friends and family members, I hate to say it, it was a time to just rest and just stop and just recalibrate and take
Yeah.
a break. And it was also time to like really understand you know, or really review your life and really understand what you want in life. Like,
Yeah.
do you want to work, do you want to still be working at the same job that you're working, or do you want to try something new, or do you want to still be living in the same situation that you're living in, or do you want to try something new? Like it was a great time to just like stop, recalibrate, take a rest, and like really think about your life.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I don't know, but we need to
No,
get back.
I'm
Yeah, we don't
I'm
have to have the disease,
I'm
but I would love to get back to the whole rest and stop and take a break part.
I know, like, well, and because of like the time that it happened for us, like we were seniors
Uh-huh.
in college and we were
Yeah.
on our spring break, like our senior
Yeah.
year spring break, and
Mm-hmm.
we had nothing to do. Nothing.
Nothing.
It was
Nothing.
truly just like 2 weeks of nothing. And
Nothing.
then even after that, when school started, like it was like all of the online stuff, like online classes
Mm-hmm.
and everything was so new
Mm-hmm.
that we got away with doing nothing
Nothing.
in these classes. Like it
Mm-hmm.
was crazy.
Absolutely nothing.
Like
Absolutely
I
nothing.
obviously you could tell the teachers that had taught online classes before and who like adapted very
Mm-hmm.
quickly. But I
Mm-hmm.
had a couple of professors who had no idea what they were
Idea.
doing. And it was
Nothing.
fierce because
It was so
they were
CUNT.
like,
It was so
I don't know, read a
CUNT.
book. Yeah, girl.
Girl, I think my professor was like, for like our senior, like, I guess like our senior rapper project, she told us to make a video. I said, oh, girl. What?
You
Let's test
asked
that
the right
theory.
person.
You
Yeah,
asked the right person. I don't even know where that video is today, and I hope to God never see it, but
girl.
made a whole YouTube video. That was my
This
like
is
senior wrap up.
so this is gonna
It
be
was
very
crazy.
this is gonna be very inside baseball. But I just need to mention this right now. I didn't
Mm.
have this professor at this time, but like imagine Dr. Brassard trying to figure out an online
Oh.
class. Like Dr. Brassard was a professor at our school who printed out everything on paper.
And
Nothing
wasn't
was in
she?
the system online. She would print everything out. She'd never use the computer, never put anything online.
No.
Nothing. Grades,
And
nothing.
I hate to be ageist, but I guess at the time wasn't she like 75? Like she was already up
I
there.
She could either be like 65 or 95. I have no clue.
I have no clue.
She had a lot of energy though.
Yeah, she did, but I know she was like definitely up there though. Like,
And girl, the way she was like allergic to the computer, like she would never.
oh yeah, oh yeah,
So the thought of her, like as a professor like her, trying to do an online
girl, it was
class.
over. It was over.
Girl.
It was over. It was over. Girl, those students were not learning a damn thing.
No.
Okay? No.
Well,
No.
but imagine having to
No.
write a paper for her class, just like raw dog it, because she was tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had a hard time writing a paper for her, even when we had class in person.
Girl, those kids who had to like who weren't like us who had, still like 1 or 2 years ahead and they just had to spend it in quarantine. Girl,
Girl, no.
I'm telling you, we literally made out by the seat of our pants. Like, girl,
Yes.
girl,
Because going
I can't
back,
imagine.
going back to school after
Yes.
COVID,
Girl.
mama. No, me.
Like kids went back to school like still during the like I think
My brother.
lockdown was in over until like I want to say July. Like it was a long time,
It was a long time.
but even though lockdown was over, like people were still staying inside until at least January and February. Like
Oh
so
yeah.
those kids had to go back to college and just like sit in their dorm rooms and when there I think there was like so many stories of people who had to like quarantine in their dorm rooms for like weeks, if not like up to a
Yep.
month before they can even it was insane. It was insane.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
can't like going to class and having to wear a mask everywhere.
Yes. Yes.
No.
And like freshman year is, or just like those first couple of days and weeks into freshman year is so critical in terms of making friends. Because,
Yes.
I mean, we were lucky. I don't know how the hell it happened, but we were lucky. But like most of the people that you hang out with within the first couple of weeks are gonna be your people,
That's it.
unless
Yeah.
you're an asshole. Like, that's it. Like,
Yeah.
so. Yeah, I can't imagine just
I can't either.
yeah. Oh,
And
that sucks.
but you know, it makes me feel old. Like, on
Mhm.
this past season of Drag Race, there was a drag queen on there who said that she didn't go to her senior high school prom because of COVID. I felt so
Mm.
old.
Mm.
I almost literally, I like want to crawl out of my skin. I felt so old.
Oh no, literally.
You missed your
Mm.
senior high school prom because of
prom.
COVID? High school.
Oh my God.
Is that going to be like our 9/11? Like, you know how it's like a lot of times
Oh
people ask
yeah.
like how old are you when
Oh,
when
where were
9/11
you
happened?
when yeah, that's
And
gonna
like,
yeah.
how old were you during COVID?
No, literally. No, literally. That this is our 9/11. This is our moment to shine. Where were you when the lights dropped? Yeah. That's gonna be us.
Where were you when the music died? Like, very that. Very
Where
that.
were you no, completely. Where were
Um,
you when the music died? COVID.
But like, okay.
For sure.
So, gonna steer back
It's your back.
quickly. Gonna steer back to the Black Plague for a second. And like the cultural implications. This just goes to show you also this particular point how little humanity has changed and how quickly we look for someone to blame.
Yes.
So people obviously thought that this was an act from God, but they would blame lots of people, including the Jews. Shocker.
Yes.
People have been blaming
Yeah.
Jews for shit literally since like the beginning of time.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Friars, foreigners, pilgrims, lepers, and also they would target people with skin conditions like acne and psoriasis, aka they would have killed me if I lived back then
Oh,
with my
they would have
busted
killed
skin.
No, literally, they would have killed everybody, every woman with a period. Any person with a period, they would have killed because
Girl,
if
my
I have a zit,
hormonal
you're dead.
acne. Oh, they burned me at the stake.
Exhibit A.
I would point to mine, but they're all covered up right now. There's one here, one here.
Exhibit A. Where were you when the lights stopped? Yeah, they would have murdered my ass.
When the lights went out in Georgia.
Uh,
Like,
right on the cheekbone.
like they would have slaughtered us.
Dude, my mom saw that today and she was like, "Oh my God, what the F happened to you?"
That's
Missed
rude.
it, first of all. That's rude, okay? I'm not ugly, okay, if that's what you're trying to imply.
Be dramatic. Like,
okay.
Come on.
First of all, it's healing. That's why it's getting darker. Hyperpigmentation, if you use it.
Have you heard of it?
Have you heard of it? First of all. Second of all, I don't need this right now. Thank you. Okay?
No, I don't need this. And you don't have to tell me. I know it's there.
Oh, I get it. I can feel it.
Trust me.
Thank you.
I know.
Oh, it's big and it's winding. Yeah. This would get me milli-whopped if back in those times. Milli-whopped. Okay?
We would die.
We would die.
That's crazy. We would die.
But granted, women died for anything and everything. I feel like men try to think of so many things just to, sanctify killing women. Like the Salem witch trials. Like, that was just a whole excuse to kill women.
And during this time, it was like, girl, if you had acne, no matter who you were, you must be part of the problem.
Oh, boils and sores.
Me and my eczema, we wouldn't last a goddamn second.
Me and my eczema, girl, same eczema partners. Because, girl, yeah, me and my oatmeal boss would have stopped.
Girl, they would have got a look at my little elbow pits, and they would have been like,
I don't even want to tell you about what happens to my chest at wintertime. Yeah, rashes, because it's dry as fuck. Yeah, that's what happens. They would have looked at my rashy chest and said, yeah, she's dead in a week. Yeah, killed me.
She must have started it. It must have been her.
It was her. No, it's my eczema that I've had since I was 2. I can't help that I'm a mermaid.
I'm sorry, I'm sensitive.
The second I hit dry land, girl, scales, okay?
It's like, I'm sorry I'm going through topical steroid withdrawal, okay?
No, literally, I'm sorry that I get ashy and scaly, okay? I look crazy, I know. Yeah, they would have killed me. Also, they would have killed me because I'm black, but,
Well, that's besides the point. That's a different question. That's a different conversation altogether. But also, yes. Now, imagine if you were white.
Why am I thinking white chicks when you said thinking yourself?
Not like you as a white person, but you painting your skin white.
No, it's not white. No,
you putting my you putting my foundation on. That's what it would be.
Completely. And I've actually done that before. Don't knock it. Don't knock it. I've done it before. And yeah, you could probably concur what I look like. Yeah.
But let's just say, even if you weren't black back then, they'd probably still kill you. It wouldn't matter.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then if they didn't kill us for starting the plague, they'd kill us for being witches during the Salem witch trials. Like, girl, we wouldn't survive in many, many, many parts of history.
Like I said, they find any excuse to kill women. They find any excuse. Right? Okay? Salem witch trials. Girl.
This hormonal
and like
acne.
any type of war. No, literally any type of war. What are they doing? Pillaging, killing, and raping women. Sorry, women and children. Women and children. That's what they're doing.
Literally.
I don't know why. I don't know why that was their first thought, but that's crazy.
But speaking of war, I have one more thing for this economic cultural impact. Now, this shit, I didn't know this. Maybe other people knew this, but I didn't. During the Cold War, allegedly the U.S. and the Soviet Union hatched this brilliant idea to maybe possibly use the Black Plague bacteria as a biological weapon. Now, they decided against it, but could you imagine if they did? We would still have the Black Plague right now.
Dude, it'd be The Last of Us. It'd be The Last of Us, bro. Like,
the fact that it was a discussion is insane. You saw what happened during the Black Plague and you thought, let's do that again.
I just am just like, I swear to God, if an alien decides to like come down and like finally do it, like invade us, like please do. We obviously don't deserve this fucking planet.
Right?
We don't deserve it. Like kill me. Please. I implore you.
Because that would have been crazy.
Because that is wild.
If we gave ourselves the Black Plague, like, basically on purpose. What?
I'm so tired. I'm so tired.
And, like, back then, it took 300 years to get the European population back to what it was before the Black Plague. Imagine how many people it would have killed during the Cold War into now. And how there's so many more people on this earth now. And how long it would take to get us back there.
I'm literally quoting Whoopi Goldberg in that one movie where she was like, it was probably some white guy named Bob who thought of that. Like,
no, bitch. Literally.
Literally.
Could you imagine?
I'm just so tired.
Let's start the Black Plague again. Let's do it again.
I'm telling you, I'm reaching out to all of like the internet. I'm reaching out to all the like signals of the earth. If there's an alien like species that's just out there who wants to come invade us, no, please do. I implore you. I welcome you. Because obviously we don't deserve Earth. We tried it, we failed. Take it.
Girl.
If something like the host happened to us where these like weird souls come and try to inhabit our bodies and improve the planet, yeah. No, I need you to get down here stat. Okay?
Yes.
Don't take me. Yeah.
We've lost the plot down here. Like.
No, literally.
We've lost the plot. Because what the hell is that?
Inhabit my body, because maybe you'll like pay my bills better or something. I don't know. Maybe you'll like.
If that happens, then the Scientologists were right.
Completely. What a plot twist. Because I watched that guy. I watched that guy on TikTok who goes to the Scientology. He like records himself in front of the Scientology.
I love and they all like close the doors on him. Like, no.
But they recently installed a system so now they can automatically close the doors.
That is so fierce.
Diabolical.
The Church of Scientology blocked you. Girl, they blocked
you. I think I saw one and I don't know who it was, but this person like walked up to the church and said, "Hi." Automatically, the door's closed. I said, "What? Who are you?" Whoa.
Well, it's like, girl, if you're gonna be doing all that, why do you have this building? Why do you have this building, and why are your doors open? Girl, close the door. What the fuck? Like, I think about this all the time. Imagine what my life could be like now if I actually went into the Scientology building in New York City, like in Midtown Manhattan, to use the bathroom. I think about where my life would be if I did that, because I was so desperate to pee. I was running around Midtown Manhattan looking for a place to pee, and everywhere you needed a code. And I was like, I was walking past the Church of Scientology building, and I was like, I bet you they have a really nice bathroom in here. I was like, I should go in. And I was like,
oh my God,
no. What if they kidnap me?
No, literally.
And I decided against it, and I think that was the right decision. Like, imagine where I would be right now.
Girl, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be sitting in front of me. That's for sure.
I'd still be in there.
You'd still be in the toilet.
5 years ago. It was more than 5 years ago.
Still in that bathroom.
It was like 7 years ago.
You still be in that bathroom.
I'd still be there.
Like, is someone gonna get me toilet paper still, or am I gonna have to like wipe 5 years later?
No, I'd be doing my I think they call it emotional auditing. I'd be going through that.
Oh yeah.
Where they basically ask you like every question ever and tell you to reveal like all of your personal secrets. They could use it against you as blackmail.
That is crazy.
Isn't that crazy? That's why the bitches don't leave. Because all their shit's on file.
I'm telling you.
Crazy. Except,
girl,
I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say or divulge or share. They would hate me. I'm so boring.
Like, okay, it's like that girl from Miss Congeniality. I stole the red panties from the department store. My mom told me not to buy them.
and then when you try to leave, they'll be like, we'll share all your information. Girl, I have no information. I
Not
have
the
no
red
tea.
panties. No, not the red panties. No. My
I'll
mom
go to
told me not to buy
prison.
them. I'll go to prison.
It's like, girl, the statute of limitations are way gone.
Girl, lifted, okay? Okay.
It's done. Done. Oh my god.
Girl, forgive and forget, please. For the
Let
sake
go
of
and
all
let
of
God.
us.
It's done.
Let go and let God. It was one pair, girl. One pair, but
That's so funny.
yeah. Yeah, so that was a Black Plague.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we go, I have one more thing. I have one more thing.
Mm.
So to tie back into women's rights and how men hate women, the only like slight perk it seemed for women during this time was that so many women's husbands died that some women were granted property rights. They inherited their husband's property and they got to own it. So period. That was all we got. It's like, you know what? Your husband and all your children died. I guess you can have the land. So, serving cunt on my dead husband's land. But of course, as soon as these women get the land, there's no more feudalism and they can't get people to work the fucking land.
So they just die in a bush.
It's like, shit. Second I get land.
Fuck.
Seems like nobody wants to work these days.
It seems like nobody by yourself, looking out to 20 miles. Seems like nobody wants to work these days.
Get your fucking ass up and work.
You're looking at 20 miles.
Literally.
Seems like nobody wants to work these days by yourself. Lassie's on your left side, the dog. Said, whoa. Whoa. Seems like nobody wants to work these days.
No, nobody wants to work because everybody died.
Everybody died.
They're all dead, girl.
They're all dead. They're all dead.
They're all dead.
They're all dead.
But yeah, that was the Black Plague, and let's just say
that was the work.
Let's just say we really like took a girly pop twist. If you look up a picture. If you look up a picture, girl, it is not girly pop. It is disgusting and nasty boots.
It's literally fucking gross.
Okay.
And I
but we hope
don't
want to
be putting. And I'm good. I'm not putting any pictures into this. Yeah, that's not. No. Because
you can look that up yourself at your own discretion. We're not going to be sharing that with you because we like you and we don't want to traumatize you.
Yeah, we don't want to traumatize you. And yeah, what did I learn? I learned this, essentially.
Literally, I learned everything I uttered today is what I learned.
And just like, it just reinforced my fear of pandemics and diseases. So yeah, that's going to be my new thing I ruminate on, you know?
Right.
This and the combination of The Last of Us, yeah, this is what's going to keep the... Yeah, that's the thoughts.
It's really gonna keep the hypochondriac, the mental illness going.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So that's what we learned. What I learned in boating school is
no, literally.
The Black Plague.
20 hours later, you wrote the. Yeah.
The Black Plague.
The Black Plague.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope y'all learned something.
Yes.
And I hope y'all enjoyed. Let us know if there's any other historical events in history you want us to discuss because we love doing this. We love deep diving. We love getting down to the nitty gritty, the crazy shit that maybe you didn't know about these time periods. So let us know. We want us to discuss.
No, literally, I mean, our list is plentiful and thick. She's
extensive.
She's a thick list, okay?
Yeah.
But we are so open to suggestions and, you know, comments and And honestly, if the comments match what we have on our list, girl, we might prioritize. We might move something up the line. Okay.
Exactly.
So yeah,
we have a long list, and
yeah,
I guarantee anything any of y'all say in the comments is gonna be on it.
literally.
But if you comment it, we'll push it to the top. Okay. Push it to the top. Let us know. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, but love you guys, and we'll see you later.
Bye, y'all. Thanks for listening. We love you.